My new student dialogue was about mental health and awareness in college. When I first got to the room, I was a little nervous about how people would react to the subjects that we were going to be talking about because I realized there were many sensitive subjects that could potentially come out of the discussion. When everybody finally got to the room that day, our discussion leaders decided to play a little icebreaker game that involved one person saying one of their common interests, and if another person shared that common interest, then they would come and link arms with them. And we did that until everybody was linked together in one big circle, and it made our group feel a little bit more united, and it was more of an icebreaker to get people to know something interesting about each other. One of the next things that we did was we sat down in a circle and we discussed what our name was, where we were from, what our major was, and why we came to Clemson. And it was really interesting to hear the different reasons of why people came to Clemson, because one of my reasons was just because everyone in my family went to Clemson, and it was a huge deal to be another Clemson Tiger. And once we did the icebreaker game and the introduction and stuff, that's when we started getting more comfortable with each other, and we started our actual new student dialogue discussion, which was mental health and awareness in college. We first talked about the differences between debate, discussion, and dialogue, and this is the paper that we were given. And debate is winning is the goal. Debate implies a conclusion. Discussion is where more perspectives are voiced, the better. Discussion can be open or closed-ended. Dialogue remains open-ended, and in dialogue, the goal is to find a common ground between things. And after we did that, we got more in depth into the discussion of mental health and awareness in college, and we did a social identity wheel, which is, not sure if you can see that, which is where we wrote down our race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, age, national origin, first language, and things like that. And then we wrote in the middle the most important things in our lives, and we actually did like a percentage wheel of how important they were in our lives. And for me, religion, which is Christianity for me, and gender, which I'm female, is probably two of the most important things in my life, and also my English language that I speak, because it allows me to communicate well with others. And once we finished this, we did an identity timeline, and identity timeline, and that is where we discuss one of the most important identities in our life and how it has affected us throughout the years. And the identity I chose was Christianity, because it is the most important identity in my life, and it has shaped me in everyday life. And from the timeline of 0 to 5, we wrote about things that we did that helped build our identity as a Christian. And mine was going to church with the family. From age 6 to 10, we went to Sunday school, Vacation Bible School, Camp Voyager, which was a Christian camp my age group went to, and I got baptized when I was 7. And then from 11 to 15, I joined a discipleship group and gained really good friends by doing that. It was a good group of girls that I was around. And from 16 to 20, I went on mission trips. And then college, leaving my family, it made me realize that before I left for college, I had to build my relationship with Jesus Christ and become more of a believer in Him if I was going to face everyday challenges like I would in college, and I knew I would. And the last thing we did was we got paired with somebody in our group to discuss what we had done in our identity timeline. And so I got placed with my discussion group leader, and I talked to her about how Christianity has impacted my life, and we talked about how my best friend's dad had died when I was a senior, and it made me realize that I need to lean on Christ for my comfort and support, and He's my rock. And that definitely brought my friends closer. It brought my faith closer. And then my discussion leader my discussion leader was Asian, and so she discussed how being Asian, her ethnicity played a huge role in her life. And when she was growing up, she was very ashamed of her ethnicity and her race because she felt different. She felt like an outcast, and she even got to the point where she was so ashamed that she committed suicide. And she told me that after she committed suicide, and it didn't follow through, obviously because she's still here, but it didn't follow through, and her family was her rock and her support, and they told her it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different than everybody. It's important. It's important to be different. And in our discussion group, I feel like everybody participated, some more than others, because I feel like some were more sensitive to the subject of maybe suicide and their own mental health and awareness. And I personally was a very active member because I'm very talkative, and the subject wasn't as sensitive to me. I actually enjoyed talking about it and opening up with people about my identities in my life. And I felt like it was very beneficial because I got to learn more about people that I don't normally hang out with, and I got to meet a lot of different people. And I really enjoyed it and am very thankful Clemson did it. And, yep. Thank you.